Welcome to today's editing stream. Today, as has been the case, we are going into Driftforce. So Driftforce, I've got a few different, things on the list here as I've had for a while, leading all the way back to the beginning of the video, but we've made in a little bit into the video at least, in terms of the more major edits. Additionally, I'd like to talk about some things related to the channel recently. We've got a lot sort of going on, which is always great to see. I'll duplicate this tab, and we'll go analytics. 77 subscribers, 777, pretty solid thing. It's a pretty exciting thing. I'm considering, I don't really post a lot of videos, to be honest. I mostly do streaming. It's just these bigger projects that I work on where I post a big video every once in a while. This one's a pretty big project. Normally it's going to be like a 10-minute, 15-minute video or something like that. This one's going to be like an hour long, so I really don't know how it's going to do, how that's going to go, but hopefully it does pretty well. But anyway, since I don't post a lot of videos, I was thinking when I do post videos, I could put a thing like, I saw in someone else's video, for example, someone put something like, subscribe now to be part of, the first 1,000, or I think it was in there because it was 10,000 subscribers, something like that. And I was like, oh, that's, that's kind of compelling. Like if I was watching a channel, they were a small channel, and I watched all the way to the end, and it said, subscribe now to be part of this, the first this many people. Because I remember even just being one of the first people to watch a channel is a pretty incredible thing. In a way, right? In a way, I guess. Incredible thing is maybe a weird thing. But honestly, like for me personally, I remember watching 778. Well, wow. Okay. Hello. Welcome. I remember watching Slimesicle, Charlie Slimesicle, back when he was very, very early to YouTube. And Charlie, I think he had less than 1,000, or maybe he had like 1,800 or something like that. But like a small amount. Now he has millions of subscribers or whatever. But I remember seeing this early video. He posted a comment on someone else's video saying, "Hey, come subscribe." Or hey, can you subscribe? I'm working really hard on my content, whatever. Which is usually, it's kind of seen in bad taste, and maybe understandably, right? You don't get spammed with that, and you don't want your whole comment section just be like, hey, subscribe to me instead, or whatever. Like that stuff can be annoying. But I remember seeing that, and for whatever reason, this one was particularly compelling. And so I clicked on his channel. I watched through a couple of videos. They were not, they weren't incredible. They were very I think that the audio was a little bit off, the video was a little off, whatever. But still, I remember watching through several and thinking there's like still something there. Like, this guy's kind of funny. And years later now, it's like he's part of these big projects, part of these massive podcasts and so on. So I have kind of like fond memories of being there early. And so I can understand that sentiment of like, oh, you want to be part of this kind of this select group, right? So yeah, I was thinking about putting something like that at the end of videos potentially. I don't put them out that often, so it seems like it wouldn't be overly, I don't know, like if every single video at the start you're like, hey, subscribe, or so you can be part of this, or like you see those things where people say, if I get 10,000 likes, we can do this thing. I think that's okay, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but it does, I think, I could see that rubbing people the wrong way, where I think something at the end of a video is a little better, and especially something like that is pretty compelling. Anyway, also I'll say, in terms of lately, like videos, we're putting out a lot of Empires of the Undergrowth. It's been like the big project is really Empires of the Undergrowth. And those videos just always seem to get a decent amount of views. I also get a lot of activity on Twitch with that, which is an exciting thing. Like a lot of people chatting, a lot of people excited about the game. I think it's probably the most positive experience I've had with any game, potentially, is the feedback there. I think there are also a lot of games where like just the dev, not really anybody else, but really the dev has been super, super positive. Like if I think about it, Reboot Heroes, for example, has a really, really positive dev and some really cool fans. But the amount of fans of Empires of the Undergrowth that are all like super positive, haven't really gotten any negativity, has been really kind of astounding to me. So, a lot of appreciation there for how that's going. It makes me want to play the game more. Even like I don't know beyond once we get down to tier 5, like you keep going for impossible levels. I feel like there's a little bit of a worry that I have where with impossible levels, with the hardest possible difficulty in the game, essentially, the idea of playing those a bunch to try to see if I can beat them is like, I don't know if I want to have, like, let's say it takes me like 6 hours and I just try. Maybe finally I beat one level that's like really hard and impossible. And so I beat this level. That's going to be like 2 hours of really fun, entertaining content potentially, where I'm like learning new things, and probably like another 3 hours of me like increasingly going insane, and then maybe like an hour or two of just unwatchable, horrible nonsense. And so I'm a little hesitant for that, just because, and I do need to work on being able to like lose at something for hours without just, being so frustrated, But it's hard. I think anyone would agree that it's hard. It's like that's where the game goes from being like a, this is cool and there's these elements, oh, that's neat, to being like a, this sucks, even though it's a good game, right? And I don't like saying those sorts of things. So I really enjoy a lot of the games that I play in general. There's very few games that I just really haven't enjoyed as much. For the most part, like I'm pretty selective of what I play, and so the things that I play, a lot of time I enjoy, or I just do a one-off, or it's like an early thing, you know, maybe a dev just made it, so there's some problems, like, that's fine. But a game that I'm going to delve into over and over, like Tendril, for example. I played a lot of Tendril because I really like Tendril. It's a really solid game. And so, but as well, even with Tendril, it's the same thing. Like, if I were to play for 7-8 hours straight without winning, I think if I lost at the end of all that, I would feel really negative. Because it's like, I want to get a win to top it off and to end things off, you know? There's a lot of these kinds of things. So you got to be kind of careful, I guess, with, like, or I have to be, I guess, with the games that I select and how much I play them and so on. But Empire's Inner Growth, I think there's still enough left that I can play, like, a decent amount more without it being stale or really negative, I think. As long as I try to shift away from doing too much, like, impossible. I could even just go to, like, extreme instead of impossible, for example, if needed. But we've still got a lot, you know, like at least a few more streams with Empire's Inner Growth, and we see from there. And that feels pretty awesome, actually. Just the consistency of cool people coming in. And actually, the one other thing I want to say before we start getting into editing, because, you know, it's an editing stream, I want to make sure that we're focused, at least to a certain extent. I know these are never really super focused, but the last thing I kind of want to talk about with Empires of the Undergrowth is just something that really felt pretty special to me, I guess. Someone came in, this person named Jenna, I guess, and they were watching the stream, and then they said that they had been watching since April 26th of, what is it, 2021, I think it is, which is crazy. And the reason that's crazy is because I uploaded on April 25th, my first video that I ever made. And I can't, it's crazy for me to imagine somebody the next, like, within a couple days of that, maybe they get, you know, YouTube recommends it to them, whatever, they click on it, sticking around from there to now. Like, in my mind, there is, like, nobody. There's not a single person in my mind that happened with. I know there are some people, and it's something, a feeling that I've been having recently. Like, I got a comment not super long ago, if I scroll back a tiny bit here. It's been fun watching the insane grind that you've been doing for months. Glad to see you're getting get to use wood now and enjoying the videos. I don't know what get to use wood is. I don't know if this is in terms of Empire's Undergrowth, because technically for the past 2, maybe, was it 3 months? I haven't been doing, no, I think it's like 2 months I've been doing Empire's Undergrowth, maybe closer to 3, I don't know. Regardless, for the last 2 or 3 months I've been doing Empire's Undergrowth, so it could be referring to that, or for the last, you know, 4 or 5 months, whatever, I've been streaming, and I've been really focusing on streaming, really pouring myself into YouTube a lot more, and so I could kind of read this in either direction. Regardless, it's a really nice comment. But this is from somebody that I probably, that just doesn't, you know, they're not like a stream watcher or really stream chatter as much, and so it's like a cool feeling to think, like, there are people who are watching who I don't even know that they're watching. They're just people that are watching, they enjoy this stuff, and maybe they resonate some with what I'm talking about, or some with, you know, the grind, the struggle, whatever you want to call it, like this guy's sort of saying. And yeah, it's just I guess a special feeling that you usually, well, when would you know if people aren't chatting, that you don't really know that they're there necessarily? I mean, I know that people watch, like I can look at my analytics, but how do I distinguish between like, these people are clicking on it because they see the, you know, thumbnail and the title, like the people that watch me, the people who chat, the people who watch me outside of that, or people who are watching the videos because they get recommended them and they don't necessarily stick around. Like, I can't know for sure, but I guess the knowledge that there are people that support, and even if they're not there all the time, let's say, that come around and take a look every once in a while, it's just cool. It's a cool thing. Anyway, kind of a ramble about these different aspects of things, but it was kind of a special feeling, especially thinking April 26, 2021. That was crazy to me. Because I feel like I look at my old stuff and I'm sort of like, this is, like, I'm the only person who, like, I guess, who was there from the beginning from these things, but that's not true, you know? I don't know. It's a cool feeling. Anyway, let's get on to the editing streams. But yeah, just something I wanted to share there. So, okay. Let's go. So, Driftforce. We have a few things done. We've gone from this like an hour and 3 minutes long. We've gotten all the way down to 48 minutes. I have a clip already loaded up to put into there. So let's pull in this one. Okay. Pull up, pull down. 48 minutes. And I should be okay, I think. I should be okay to leave the music on as we work through this for the most part, because you know, I'm not going to be really listening to audio cues as much at this point, which is a nice thing. Once you get through the main cutting with editing, you can start to, you know, take it easier on that end. Let's hide these things. Okay. The first thing, I don't like being so family friendly. This is Sky's thought. I never swear, and I swear a lot in my personal life. It feels weird, like I'm faking myself a little bit. That's one side of what's going on. The other side, it feels weird, like I'm... There. Go here. faking myself a little bit. Myself a little bit.
I'm going to start swearing again in my commentaries and in my videos. I don't know if it's going to be a permanent thing. I'm going to start swearing again in my commentaries and in my videos. I don't know if it's going to be a permanent thing. I don't know if it's going to be something that I do forever. But I've noticed that it's kind of hard to really be myself in my recordings because to be something that I do forever. But forever. But I've noticed that it's kind of hard to really. Just that it's kind of hard. Just that it's kind of hard to. Just that it's kind of.
That it's where okay.
Just that it's.
This.
That it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to.
Like right here.
It's kind of hard.
Okay, there. Cut. All right. Okay. Pull this to here.
Forever. It's kind of hard to really be myself in my recordings because
Okay, so this segment
to really be myself in my recordings because
that's one side of everything going on. The other side is I don't like just playing Minecraft. Okay. Okay, we're gonna pull this forward and then that should give me space to slide the stuff down here. Should be 48 around. Okay, so at around 48, let's see, come on, a little forward. 46, 47, should be like right here. There we go. There we go. Okay. Unmute these things. There we go. See how this looks. He's got these two different things on his mind. Okay. All right. The first thing, I don't like being so family friendly. This is Sky's thought. I never swear, and I swear a lot in my personal life. It feels weird, like I'm faking myself a little bit.
I'm going to start swearing again in my commentaries and in my videos. I don't know if it's going to be a permanent thing. I don't know if it's going to be something that I do forever. It's kind of hard to really be. It's kind of hard to be something that I do forever. It's kind of hard to really be myself in my recordings because
that's one side of everything going on. The other side of life, it feels weird, like I'm faking myself a little bit.
I'm going to start swearing again in my commentaries and in my videos. I don't know if it's going to be a permanent thing. I don't know if it's going to be something that I do forever.
Faking myself a little bit.
I'm going to start swearing again in my commentaries and in my videos. I don't know if it's going to be a permanent thing. I'm going
myself a little bit.
I'm going to start swearing again in my commentaries and in my videos. I don't know if it's going to be a permanent thing. I don't know if it's going to be something that I do forever. It's kind of hard to really be myself in my recordings because
that's one side of everything. And then maybe cut a little bit sooner there. Okay. A little bit sooner there.
We'll
say like right here. Delete this. Pull this back.
things to really be myself in my recordings.
That's one side of what everything. Okay, no, it should be even a little bit before he really starts there. That's one.
My recordings.
That's one side.
Recordings.
That's one side of what everything going on. The other.
Myself in my recording.
That's one side of what everything going on. The other side.
Forever. It's kind of hard to really be myself in my recording.
That's one side of what everything. Self a little bit.
I'm going to start swearing again in my commentaries and in my videos. I don't know if it's going to be a permanent thing. I don't know if it's going to be.
I never swear, and I swear a lot in my personal life. It feels weird, like I'm faking myself a little bit.
I'm going to start swearing again in my commentaries.
Okay, so I want a similar kind of. Effect to the one I made before here. Photo editor of having. Let's see, where did I actually put that? Here. This could work. Where is? Let's see. Then go to YouTube. Sky does Minecraft. Sky does. I missed the stream. I forgot. Yeah, Cynic was gonna stream A Man of the Adventure. I was gonna watch that. Oh well, it's all good. But I hope it went well. 3.9k views. That's awesome. Yeah, that's so cool. Really.
I'm sucking on a cup.
300 files, find interesting stuff with you. Put out content pretty often. I don't stream a ton because I'm interested in people don't pretty much soon. That's cool. That's cool that he got this many views. Honestly, okay. Cynic has been, I guess, sort of friend of the channel, positive member of the channel for a span of time, or he was at least watching a lot of the content and commenting back when I was making a lot of YouTube videos. So I keep an eye on Cynic. Very positive sort of person that I have a lot of appreciation for what he does. But anyway, like, yeah, had some pretty genuine conversations with Cynic at different points. And so every once in a while I kind of check in and see how the channel's doing. And I have noticed, like, generally with videos that they don't, you know, it's been a general thing, videos don't do quite as well. The channel, it went from like 300 subscribers or so through shorts, mostly, has shot up. You can see here, 57,000 views, 40,000, 33,000, 31, 19. Huge viewership on shorts. Has shot up to 6,000 some odd subscribers. Which definitely, I remember at the time, I was like, oh, I should do shorts. Maybe I should do shorts. Maybe this whole, like, not liking YouTube shorts was a mistake. And so I can really, you know, still, regardless of the viewership of them, continuing to post videos and, you know, keep trying to make some special stuff. Different people came to stream at different points, and so are into videos at different points. So collaborative content, as well as just a lot of general content, a lot of appreciation for kind of smaller games, older games. Not a lot of like, I'm going to play this, and this is what I'm going to do. A lot more, I guess, variety. But yeah, the videos tend to do not quite as well. The shorts really are the things that consistently seem to do pretty well. Hundreds of views or thousands of views a lot of the time. And so to see, I think, a live stream get thousands of views, it's pretty cool. You know, excited for Cynic here. Hopefully this is a trend that continues going. Especially, I wonder if the entire went through the entire game here, or if there's more that can be done on this one. But regardless, yeah. Oh, and 24,000 on this one as well. Yeah, some streams it looks like are actually doing pretty well at points. I mean, it's really those two mainly, but you know, some of the other ones are actually pretty good in terms of viewership. It's always a nice thing to see. Anyway, okay. So where am I at though? I want Sky does Minecraft. Sky does Minecraft. Let's go. Okay. Sky does Minecraft. What am I looking for right now? I need the swearing video. Don't know. No. Sky does Minecraft. We'll say Sky does gaming. Or just swearing change should be fine. Wonder if the video will come up. If I look it up this way, swearing change. Okay, horror story. Could have sworn I found it this way or roughly this way before, but Sky does Minecraft. Decides to swear. Huh? Why am I not actually just getting Sky does Minecraft related content? Why is everything going? What, these aren't. This has nothing to do with Sky does Minecraft. Oh, and Sunday. This is literally nothing to do with it. What? Okay, strange. Maybe it was in here. I don't think it was. No, this wasn't where I got that clip, was it? No. Dang, where did I get this clip? Let's see. Because remember I had to go through to find it. Sky swearing. Oh, but I would have made it into a clip, wouldn't I? So how do you find your own clips on YouTube? How to find clips you've made on YouTube. Okay. Let's see. Go to library section. Okay. YouTube. Go to the library section, tap on your clips. You playlist, watch later, liked videos, your clips. This one. What is it from? Okay, let's see. What is this originally from? Let's get serious for a minute. Important announcement. Sky does everything. Sky does everything. This one. Okay. This should be the unclipped version. So what I want then is to do Windows Shift S. I want to take this and I want to put it here. Got it. Oop. Whatever just happened there, I didn't want that to happen. It's not. Okay, fine. We gotta go to... Let's open up a second one here. Go to Pictures, Screenshots, this, Add Current. Okay, cut out... No, we'll do Paint. This color. There. Should work. Paint again, get rid of this last little bit up here, because then we will have what we need visually. All right, save. Driftforce, 2D assets, Sky, swearing, thumb. Okay, all right, grab that, and then we get to come back down to here. Pull this in, it's gonna go up here. Raise size to here.
A little bit.
We're gonna do position down a little. Shrink it a little bit. Okay, position down, position over. Okay, should be shrunk even more. Down and over. Is the music a little bit too loud? It feels like it's a little bit too loud. I could be wrong. It's just my ears are like catching it just a bit. Like there's better. Okay. Okay. And then this one is going to fade in as well, and we're going to make it come from the left side. So transform, and then how fast is this?
I'm going to start.
Go back to the beginning, X position.
I'm going to start. I'm
should be
going
faster, like here. Okay. Copy. Oh, oops. The X position, right? Copy. Paste. All right, let's try that.
I'm going to start swearing.
But it should also be smaller.
I'm going to start swearing again. I'm going to start swearing again in my commentaries and in my...
Okay. It's also going to need to be... We're going to say that I don't need the Y position to... Okay, we're going to move the Y position. Gosh dang, zoom it down more. Not that far, like here maybe. X can go back this way. Okay, Y has got to be low enough to like here would be good. Okay. Maybe not that small though. I just can't really read the text is the problem, right? Well, actually, no, it should be readable. I'm just looking at it in a tiny box. Let's see if I move this down and zoom it in a little. That feels okay, right? It's not so bad. Maybe a little bigger, but not a lot. Like there would be good. Okay. Raise the Y up a bit. X can go a tiny bit over. Like to here would be good. And then I don't want the zoom to change at all. I want the zoom to stay this size. I just want the X position should stay here for this one. The Y position needs to stay there as well, but the Y position will never change. Paste it there. Paste it there.
I'm going to start swearing
That's
again.
not bad.
I'm going to start swearing again in my commentary.
And then maybe this one needs to be a little bit less there.
I'm going to start swearing again in my commentaries and in my videos. I don't know if it's going to be a permanent thing. I don't know if it's going to be something that I do forever. It's kind of hard to really be myself in my recording.
That's one side of everything going on. The other side is I don't like just playing Minecraft.
Okay. Okay, that works. That's not going down. I'm a little worried about this. I'm not just a little bit worried. I'm quite worried about how this is actually going to perform. If it just completely flops, I'm okay with it, okay? That's the route we're going to take on this one because streaming is my big thing. It's okay. These are really ambitious projects. I feel like compared to my ability to know how to do things and also the amount of time taken, I think whatever I do next, I'm going to put a large amount of time like this into a much shorter project. I think is a smart idea. But we see how this does because at the same time, it's branching far from what I'm used to, which could end up doing really well. But I think the next thing has to be a much shorter thing because I feel like I'm limiting the amount that I'm able to really make something special or like consistently really big. I'm trying to put semi-minimal amounts of edits into it, but it's still a lot because of the size of this, like the scale of what I'm doing. But the quality isn't like massive. It's mostly like a podcast, and so it's a bit, yeah, it's just very outside my normal toolbox, but that's okay. Like I'm not able to learn a whole ton of new things. It's more like I'm using what I know already to make something of a much wider scale or a much, I don't know, larger scale, yeah. Which again, that could be fine, but I'd like to, next time, I'd like to learn how to do a very small thing really, really well so that when I'm doing this sort of thing, it'll be a little bit easier to make something of higher quality, I guess. Let me also move myself over here a little bit. I think I had to move myself there a time or two ago. I had to move myself over. Anyway, okay. That's worth kind of noting that like I really want to make a lot of progress, and it's harder to make progress exactly here. It's more like I'm working on a major project, and the result is whatever it ends up being. Where like if it was a 10-15 minute video, like in the case of the last one, the thought experiment simulator, there were a lot of things I had to do that I just had never done before because I had an image and something I had in my head that I didn't know how to do. I know how to do what I'm doing here. It's just there's just so much to do that it's a bit different, I guess. But anyway, let's carry on. 46, 35. A lot of what I'm doing, though, to be fair, is just going to be like smaller things, like that, finding a clip, cutting it. And actually, you know what? I should correct some of that, which is I didn't know how to take a clip, like make a clip. First off, I didn't even really know how to make a clip on YouTube. But secondarily, I didn't know how to download a YouTube video or a clip I now have a tool that I can use to just do that. YouTube DLP GUI, which I put in the Discord, right? I added that to the Discord. I like to keep records of these things in case it all goes away, you know, or whatever. In case I lose my channels and roles. Good. Yeah. So I thought I see on my end channels and roles. Okay, I'm bouncing around topics too much here. Finish off that topic. I like to keep record of the things that I have here. Like if this computer were to break down or something like that, I have basically everything that I need in order to just recreate what I have in here. And then also other people can use it if it's something that might help them, which is sort of a nice thing. But, and it's like, it's I don't know, it's cool. I don't really think I see other people doing exactly this. Although maybe that's for a good reason. Like, there's always things like that where it's like, sometimes you see someone like, no, I really have a lot of, like, I love what I do because I do this thing. Like if you've ever seen somebody who's like, no, I really like, I don't know, making walkthroughs because they're like special because they help people in these ways. I really like that I'm being helpful. Or like, I really like that I tell people exactly how to do these things, or that I go into all this detail and all this stuff. And then it's like, well, but your video is supposed to be for, like, what you're doing here is supposed to be for entertainment purposes, not for educational purposes. Or you have this weird combination. It's like, you got to pick a lane a little bit. And so I think at the same time, while I like that this is unique, it might be a little bit counterproductive to have it this way. I think I'm okay with that idea. But I think I'm not okay with I'm not okay with failing in the entertainment end, I guess. That side I need to keep working on no matter what. So this part is like, it's just sort of extra, I guess, is a way of thinking about it. My primary goal is like YouTube stuff. In the same way as like if I were to learn how to do a bunch of stuff with video game design or whatever, it's like that could be fun and extra and cool and I have extra stuff I can talk about, but it's not exactly like the primary focus is on entertainment and on building my ability to be more entertaining, to be more not provocative exactly, but better explain myself maybe, or to I don't know, just put better quality things out there is like a really important thing. But it's cool also to know extra, like the other ends are cool, like learning about computing, learning about, game making, learning about anything that's like helpful along the way or sort of also interesting. And it's okay to have multiple routes that you want to take. It's just that if you lose sight of whatever's most important, like take your eye off the ball or whatever, can be sort of a bad thing. I've talked to a lot of small creators, and that's something that I think is really important, is keeping your eye on the ball. Let's see, which is, I think we have a lot of conversations here on the channel about that end of things specifically. Let's see, file extractors, editing. Where would I have put not file extractors, not restream audio, how to copy paste, how to cut, no, none of these. Speedrun, I think it would be in editing, wouldn't it? File extractors? It might, it is this, YouTube a video extractor. I would feel like this maybe should be in editing, because it's not like, it's not really a file extractor. I mean, kind of, but file extractors are more for like assets of like, for thumbnails, basically. Okay. Which maybe actually I should have data. It'd be cool if I had maybe multiple menus with submenus, menus and submenus here on Discord. There's like images I have for things where like I might have like 3 or 4 different menus here. One for like maybe like goals is fine, but I feel like file extractors and thumbnails should be under one umbrella. And then restream. I don't know beyond that. Dev contact list and marketing should be under one umbrella probably. Thumbnail, restream, editing, marketing, thumbnail, speedrun. Speedrun really, the only reason I have this is just because someone asked me about it, and so I just wanted to find a place to take note of it, but mouse with no E. All right. Anyway. But what I was going to say, let's see, we just got in general. I was going to say, channels and roles. I have like a super fan role now because people have been asking about like getting, like when you post a stream or when you have a stream, it's hard for me to like know that it's live. I'm like, okay, well, like I don't really want my Discord to be like you see with some people's Discords. If I go into, I guess it would be other channels. Sift's Discord, is theirs sort of like this? Theirs is sort of, I don't know. Sift's isn't exactly like this. Well, sort of. Video releases, they have like a page that everyone sees where it's like it's just automatic ping of everything. And this feels like, actually, this is the problem that I guess I have with other people's Discords. Sift might be kind of a middle of the road thing because it has a very active Discord, but I sort of feel like with Sift, the main engagement Sift has with the Discord, unless I'm wrong, which I haven't been around it enough, maybe I'm wrong, but it's like the feeling that I get, I'll say. A feeling that I get because it could be more complicated than that. But it feels like the main interaction between the Discord name, Sift, and the actual Discord itself is just the pings of like, hey, this thing got posted, which is very indirect and very, I don't know. And then, like, if you go into general, I think generally Sift is not really seen much, if at all, within their own Discord. And I feel like, I don't know, I just like iffy about that. I don't know, it just feels, it's okay, but it's like, yeah, it just feels like there's like we've lost the plot a little bit here, which is okay. There's not like if we go to an announcement, when was the last time there was an announcement? May 14th, I guess that's not that long ago. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I like the idea of, it's okay for like with my channel, for example, with Discord, it's okay if it's not like the only thing that's like, it's just like, oh, me posting all the time or whatever. Like, I don't feel like you have to engage with your audience to that extent all the time, especially like Sith probably wouldn't have time with the amount of people that watch him and so on. But it sort of feels like direction here. So we got general, like building something, you know, like make the Discord into something that's unique and special, or don't have it is maybe too strong of a stance. Like it's okay to just have things out there because they could work. Like I have a Facebook page that no one goes to because I don't really care if people go to it. It's more just I auto post there, and then if anything happens, it's great. If it doesn't, then whatever. I don't really worry about it. And that's kind of I treat my Facebook thing like this, but no one uses it. I think if people started using the Facebook, I would maybe my Facebook, whatever, the page, I would probably want to change around how I do it to a certain extent, or find a way to make it like special, potentially, or at least that like I feel like your Discord, like a Discord has so much potential to have so much utility, I guess. Where this one, you've got general, you've got like an anime, you've got suggestions. Like what are so suggestions are like, play these games maybe is the point, but then what about new and upcoming? It's the same thing, right? And then, okay, so suggestions and new and upcoming are basically the same channel. Is there anything else in here that's like that? I guess maybe not necessarily. Okay, that's not so bad. A welcome channel, an anime channel, suggestions, discussion ideas. Discussion ideas? What about this? What is this for? This is a game, talk about this game channel, which we already have games general down here. So it's just, I guess, I find some Discords to be a little bit confusing as to like what the actual utility of it is. Not that mine has a great, like there might not be a better way to do it, is sort of what I'm saying. It's like, what I'm doing, I feel like I'm trying to build or think about, at least, the building blocks of what would make something special and different and have a utility, I guess. Like with mine, I've got like, it's a good like, this is what I do. This is what I do. This is how I do it. This is how you can do it if you want to do it. This is how I do it if you're a fan, want to see it. And this is how I do it if you're a dev and you want to know how you could better engage with creators and what they're doing. Like, there's like a utility there, and then there's also like a general thing, which seems like it makes sense. But then I have like this third thing in my head. I've always had this third thing in my head, which I have no idea how you would ever incorporate, or if this is even possible or practical at all, which is, what if there were a way to keep track of developers? And my brain goes to this, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, but there is like this image that I've seen before where there's like these circles, so a bunch of different circles on a map, let's say, and each of these circles represent a different YouTuber, or each of these circles represent a different whatever, right? Like a different celebrity, or a different like search results, or whatever. Like these, so the bigger the circle is, the more searched for, or the more relevant that celebrity or that thing on the internet. And then each circle's location is based off of its proximity or relation to other circles. So let's say there's, I don't know, some big YouTuber, like let's say there's like WanderBot or something, Retromation. Wander and Retromation and Sift and Alexa and all these different people are all gonna be in one spot, where like maybe like Ludwig Ogren or whatever, and like anyone from his podcast, like Slime and Nick and Eamon or Aiden, whatever, are gonna be very like close proximity, but Ludwig's being the biggest circle by a long shot, with then also people like Atrioc and Stans, which are kind of semi-close Ludwig, you know, orbiters, or like close to people, and then people like maybe Pokimane or some of these guys are gonna be somewhat close in that, but not as close as those, because they're not as attached and relevant to it. But massive, maybe bigger than Ludwig, I guess, in scale of that circle. And so like this way of, and then there's going to be links between some of these people, but they're going to be very vague links. So you might have a link between Ludwig to Northern Lion, and then Northern Lion could go to Retromation, let's say, because there's a lot more similarity in involvement there, where Retromation and Northernlion both do a lot of indie gaming, where Ludwig doesn't really do that, but you have like a degree of separation, right? So something like that for developers or for indie gaming would be sort of interesting. Not exactly that. I know that's like a very vague, because like that's a specific example, but it's not really exactly what I want. It's just something that I think would be the start of an idea. Is like, what if you could have some way of keeping track of it where you're looking at the scale or importance of these different figures or of these different games or developers, and like getting a good map of what that all looks like. I like Steam, for example. Steam already sort of works in a way as this machine, where you go onto, you have Steam Next Fest, you have like what's relevant sort of right now, special offers, what's on sale, what are people really looking at. You can go to, if you want, you can go to categories and go to, geez, isn't there like a new and trending? Maybe it's just down here. I thought it was just at the bottom would be new and trending. Oh, here. So new and trending, top sellers, upcoming, whatever. So you have like a vague sort of thing, but it doesn't really capture that concept, right? Of finding a way to organize. And like if I click on, like imagine you click onto roguelikes, and then you have all the biggest roguelikes, and then you can filter down for like the smaller roguelikes, or you could say like this roguelike is growing at this speed and relevance, right? So like within the creator circle thing, assuming it was automated in some way to be able to tell how many subscribers they have and what their terms are relevant to each other, you could have a bubble that is growing by like, well, like a stock market, right? The stock market, let's say. You have a bubble that is growing by like 25%. In the past month, this YouTuber has popped up by 25%. They're like a quickly growing channel. And their relevance to these different channels is growing. And they have a new connection where they collaborated with this person, right? So why couldn't, like, in theory, that would be a way to measure or to keep track of the important movements of content creators. Why couldn't something like that exist? And does it already? Does that already exist in the ways that I was talking about? And could that then exist for games and for developers? Which is, again, like, I don't know anything about anything, okay? So like, I'm thinking about this, and this is very much like an ideas guy thing, and I try to avoid that when I'm talking to devs. But thinking about my own work and what I want or what I could do or what in theory could be done, I'm like, okay, is there something else that's special that could be done that no one's really doing? And I feel like that's an area that just keeps coming back into my mind, which maybe is just like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be thinking so much about it because it's not really possible or practical or whatever, or what purpose would it have? Because how many people are actually that engaged in this kind of concept? Would people really enjoy seeing that? Like, how interesting would that be for people? But I look at something like Sift again, and I'm like, okay, like all this stuff is just a place for your fans to kind of go and post memes and stuff, you know, or post like, this is like this same game over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Well, actually, no, this one's not so bad. Maybe it's in games general. Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah. It's more this one that I was looking at. And it feels like, you know, I don't know. There's some different games that get Magicraft in there instead for a span of time. It has something to do with how often the Sift channel is posting, like to what relevance, whatever. They're posting a lot of this game, and so you get a lot of this backpack battles game. But I don't know. Like, it feels like there's got to be, at the scale that some of these guys are, there's got to be a way to make something really unique and different from this. But I just have no idea what that actually would ever look like. Besides, like, what I'm kind of spouting off there. What's Rogue Rollout? This is the person that made Supernova Tactics. This is their, and they made Tile Titans. Tile Titans, I had a little less interest in Tile Titans, to be honest. I think Supernova Tactics was more in my direction. What about Rogue Rollout? What is Rogue Rollout? Oh, okay. We're going the dice battler concept, sure. Oh. Balatro concept? Hey Lapidav, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome. So, well, Lapidav, while you're here, I will do a little bit of my. I don't know if you heard the end point of that ramble that I just went on about like discords and so on. You might have heard just the tail end potentially, but yeah, this feels well. Wait, what is this actually? Submitting a triple has a chance to multiply by 0%. Interesting. I didn't. Okay. So something that I was just talking about, just kind of brainstorming a little bit. Sift is my example because I think Sift has a pretty successful or pretty decently put together Discord, but that I feel it's sort of, I feel like in my mind, there's got to be this way to do something more with it. So Sift as an example. Generally, Sift's main engagement with his own Discord, to my understanding, is through video releases, this page which pings whenever he posts a video, and that's the main engagement. And then every once in a while as well, like an announcement, let's say. That's just like, whatever. And that's okay. That's fine. To me, it does feel pretty distant, though. Like, when I look at text channels and things like that, mostly it's just people posting memes, and that's most of what it is. There's also, like, an anime channel where they talk more specifically about anime, I suppose, and then you've got Discussions Ideas, which is pretty much like you should take a look at this game, I think, maybe, channel, or just like, or really Discussion Ideas is like, you should do this build in this game, let's say, where new and upcoming is, you should play this game, and so is, let's see, there was a second channel that was basically just, you should play this game, Suggestions as well. So new and upcoming and Suggestions are both, I believe, play this game, take a look at this game. And then, besides that, it's mostly like, pets, counting, art showcase. Well, art showcase might be like a place for people to share art. Actually, could make a lot of sense. But I was sort of thinking, like, I feel like, and maybe this is like, maybe it doesn't really matter, or I don't know. Like within what I do, there's two different priorities that I have with with my channel so far. It's like a good place for me to kind of chat with fans and have people come together that are a little bit more closely invested, or like people who talk in chat for the most part come around to these, or people that maybe watch a lot of the videos but don't really want to watch streams as much but still have an investment or interest. Like, I guess they want to watch VODs but not streams, let's say. I don't know, because you can fast forward and so on. I see my server. Yes indeed, Lappy server, always there amongst them. But I was thinking, and then outside of that, I have like a projects thing, which is like the closest I've come in terms of the way that I think about it to creating something unique or different, where it's a good summary of what I do, and it has like three utilities in my mind. The first of which is that for me, I can hold on to and store all the information that I have. I can easily pull it up, and let's say my computer were to like explode, right? I could get a new computer and all of it's here. Everything that I need is right here. But also that means the second thing, maybe four utilities then. The second thing would be that other people who do what I do can then see it and could maybe have a lot of utility to it, because it's going to be a lot more similar, it's going to be the most central for like maybe how they could do things with their channel. There's a lot of useful and relevant tips. A third thing we'll say is for developers, I would say developers to kind of see what creators do, or have like a general better understanding. Like if they have any questions, they can talk to me, and they know that I know what I'm talking about. And if they just want kind of just like a general kind of peek into it, there's all the information you could possibly want here, I feel, at least about what I do so far. And then, and if you want more information, I'm, pretty active. And then fourth, I guess, would be like viewers. If they like what I'm doing, they like what I'm talking about, they have a good place to say like, oh, this is what he's doing now. This is what he's focused on. These are the goals that I have right now. Here's some extractors and like editing stuff to kind of say like, this is what I do. This is my process, whatever. And so there's a lot of utility to this in my mind that probably isn't really going to be used that much. But I think it's a cool thing. Even if people don't ever look at it, it's like, it's there, and it's unique. It's a little different. So it's the start of something. But then there's this idea that I've talked about in the server before, and have never really been able to, and still, like, I mean, it's not my main focus. I'm just laying there at night thinking like, how could I explain this concept? But there is this concept that I've talked about before in the server of like a way of compiling devs, I guess, or games into one place. The closest I think that exists to my brainchild, of this concept is something like Steam. I mean, Steam, for example, has this a little bit. So Steam has like kind of what's really big right now. You got Next Fest going on, so there's showcasing like what you should be looking at right now. Probably the things that are the most relevant to people looking for games that are new and big should be within Steam somewhere. Next Fest, if you click on this, I guess, pulls some of the more growing things to the top, but also very much influences what's growing as well. And then scrolling down, we've got like new and trending. We can see kind of what's coming out these days, and what's important to be looking at, I suppose. Like you could argue that that's sort of what's happening there. But there was this concept, and I need to find actually what it is or where it is precisely. But there's this concept that I saw a while back where somebody made a website, I think it was, or they made some type of utility where it would automatically, I think, track the channels on YouTube based on like YouTube channels based on their relevance to other channels. And so the way this would work is like there would be a bunch of circles on this big map, and on this map you've got like when you look at it from, you look at it like this, so there's like a square map. There'd be big circles here, whatever, and each of these circles is like the big circles would say something like let's say Ludwig Ogren or whatever, which is like a big YouTube channel, or you've got like someone like Pokimane or whatever. Like some of these big channels would be big in their areas, or on a flip, there's like different cultures or different like. So the big circles would say the people's names in them. The surrounding circles, let's say we're talking about Retromation as a good example. So Retromation circle would probably be smaller than some of these bigger guys, but still would have their own little pocket. So you have Retromation, and you got maybe like Wanderbot, pretty close in size next to it. You've got Alexa, growing, but still a little smaller than those. You've got Sift, let's say, as I talked about before. You've got all these different little channels kind of surrounding there. Orbital Potato, close to Retromation, but much, much smaller in size, but very close in terms of relevance because they are, like, they collaborate, they talk a lot. And so the closer the circles are together, the more like linked they are, you could say, and they have the little lines between them sort of saying like this is a strong connection with these channels, and the spacing, whatever, it's all representative. And then you could zoom in, I would imagine, and you get smaller and smaller circles into eventually, in theory, I would be in this kind of area most likely. But you have a ton. You'd also have like let's say like gardening YouTubers. You have a big gardening YouTuber with smaller gardening, like this concept. And then, like, you could say that someone like Northern Lion, or like the links that would exist would be like someone like Northern Lion. You'd have Ludwig, who's like a big gamer YouTuber, but has very little relevance to like someone like Retromation, let's say. But then Ludwig would have a pretty semi-decent link with Northern Lion because they've collaborated a decent amount of time. But Northern Lion would be more close to like this other sphere of like indie game YouTubers because Northern Lion plays a lot of indie games. And so the similarities between Northern Lion and Retromation would be a lot stronger than Retromation and Ludwig. So it's sort of like a degrees of separation, right? So they're not close together, but they have people that are close together in a way, and so you could theoretically see like the odds of them kind of collaborating or whatever through that. There is a somewhat of a tie. But okay, so with something like that, like this map, this I don't know, this is like a very vague, because that's a very specific thing that exists, and you could in theory do that with games and developers, but probably not super likely to like. It's not exactly what I have in my mind, but it's like the foundation of something that's in my head. Is like, what if you had some way, like Steam does this in a very vague sort of a way, but not really. I don't really think it really does. Like, it's like sort of like, but there's not an easy way to really see. Like let's say I click on roguelikes, and then I see all these developers who make different roguelikes and sort of their size and relevance. But then like even with something within that creator idea is like, let's say there's a tiny channel that's grown like 25% in the past recent amount of time, or has made like some new connection. Like these changes are going to be relevant to a way of predicting kind of the future of this YouTuber. And in the same way, like with a developer, like this is I don't know if something like that is possible or practical at all. But in my mind, it feels like if there were some way to do something like that, where you create a mapping of developers or of games, it would have to be done by like a small creator, basically. And so or I don't know. The scale, though, would really depend on how much power you have behind it. So like something like that, I have no idea how the heck they even made that circle thing, right? So I don't know anything about anything, but like even having like a list of people that are sort of relevant in these types of ways, or that are growing these types of ways, would be like the start of something, maybe. But then at the same time, it's like, okay, I don't know. Is there something wrong with doing that? There wasn't something wrong with doing that with YouTubers. So is there something wrong with doing that with devs, I guess? I don't know. But that's sort of what got me, I guess, thinking about that, or one of the things that got me thinking about that early on was like that I feel like there are these devs that are growing, or that have these like different sets of potential that make this game, and relative to their size, really it's the growth, I think, that's important. You can do a graph of stuff. Getting the info is the bottleneck, I think. Gotcha. Yeah, because I feel like the biggest thing, I guess, with like the YouTube thing that would be exciting is like, it's cool to see those circles, and it's cool to see that representation of how big things are, whatever, like how large channels are. But the predictors of like this person's that's grown by this percentage or whatever would also, like the stock market, right? The stock market is like a representation of this in a monetary way that is super precise and relevant. So when a stock shoots up in value very suddenly, people notice that a lot, and so then it brings more attention to the stock, which then grows it even faster. So this, in theory, I guess, could work with developers, right? And it sort of already does work this way, but so did stocks, right? Like when stocks shoot up in value, then the company therefore probably has a lot of extra money that they're making through those stocks and is therefore able to use that to grow a larger company. And so with a larger company, then they're able to outperform even stronger, which means they get even better stock. Their prices rise even further because the valuation of that stock goes up. And now with the advent of a very active and very precise stock market, this is only increased in truth that the stock market is very reactive to growth. And like in a similar way, this happens on YouTube, right? Like if a channel really starts popping up and doing well, now more people are seeing it, which now means it does even better. And then with doing even better, they can now reinvest into their channel more, and they can grow. Devs is the same way, and so it sort of feels like similar. How do you do it with devs though? What are you measuring? I guess you'd measure the success of games probably, which would have something to do with. The tough thing is, what about so if we're saying sales versus like the amount of people play a game, this is something that would be relevant. So you could measure, which now we're getting into weirder territory of like precision is tougher. But I feel like if there was a free game, for example, that doesn't mean it's not going to have a massive boost in relevance. So it would probably you'd have to take both into account, I guess. The revenue of the game per player, and then also the amount of players, and maybe you could even have just start off with these have equal importance, or not per player. I guess it would be the relevant. No, would it be per player? Let's see, because like someone could give a lot of keys away, right? And so the actual raw revenue isn't as important as the revenue per player, I guess. So you could say revenue per player and amount of players, active players per time span, maybe. If Dev is big on YouTube, but their games isn't that played, is it big or not? No, I would say no, right? I would say probably not. I think does itch count or only Steam? I think you'd have to count both, right? Yeah, you'd have to count both. You'd have to count both. I think the YouTube relevance would be less important, although YouTube might influence the game to do better, but like I think that's what you'd really focus on is the actual results of the game, not. Oh, you're saying, but then the results of the games. It has to be the results of the games. But you would see like every once in a while a YouTuber would pop off in terms of this and blow up, but that would also it'd be truthful, right? Because the game would be doing well regardless, even if it was kind of gained through people liking the dev. What are you trying to do? What are you want to show or learn? I guess the same thing. Okay, if this were to become a real thing, you would want to. The utility of having it if no one else had it would probably be actually pretty strong for a YouTuber, I would think, because your ability to keep track of, but obviously no one else would have it, whatever. But you'd have the ability to keep track of growth in devs and be able to catch games before anyone else does, assuming that the information was, repeating fast enough. Like one thing that does exist with this stuff is like a game, like games, like for example, think about like Stacklands. Stacklands was growing quickly in popularity, but then would you be able to? Let's think. Would you be able to find Stacklands before it became explosively large with something like this? Possibly, because it would be growing at a faster rate than the games around it, even though it wasn't growing as well as it should be. Hello, my man. Welcome, Fish. Appreciate you coming around. I think the primary for this would always be for entertainment. I think there's no getting around that. More than anything, really. Just did a biking trip? Oh, nice. Nice getting out there. Yeah. Okay. Through pouring rain. Oh, well, maybe not as nice. Okay. Yeah. Well, hopefully you enjoyed yourself, I guess. Her question, what you're trying to do. Yeah, the primary thing would have to be for entertainment. Like, if you look at... I got to see if... Yeah, it sucked. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not a big fan of rain, honestly, either. But some people like it, You never know. The question is, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to learn? I would need to see what... Like, because the original, I think, YouTube, growth, relevance, bubbles. See if I can find it here. Radical bubbles on YouTube. No. Relevant bubbles. What was this thing? I'd have to find the thing itself. It's been a while since I saw it. But I'm pretty sure that the main thing of it was probably entertainment. Always have rain, never sun. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, where I'm from, rain is not as common, so people tend to really like rain, but I don't really care for it that much. I mean, it's, you know, you need it, I guess, but YouTube growth. YouTuber, we'll say YouTubers size measured by bubbles. No. Visualizing communities and connections. Wait, maybe this one? Yes. So you want to have some sort of popularity measurement. You can get data from SteamDB, YouTube, search popularity, etc. Then you can combine the info and get a speed of popularity growth and sort by it. Gotcha. Yeah, this was, I think this was what it was. Let's see if there's a way. Okay. Spanish, Russian, Korean. I believe this is what it was. And you can see all these lines and connections between different things showing like the community's relevance to each other. English, Blackpink, hype labels. Love your dedication. Mir, Lapidov. Lapidov's the big brain guy here, explaining all these things. That does make sense. Seem to be YouTube, search popularity, etc. Yeah, I feel like this. Like it's such a cool concept for something. I do feel like it's mainly was used for. But then, I mean, even this would be significant. I wonder, with YouTube, it's the most relevant because YouTubers like people talking about them, obviously, to a certain extent, right? Like their goal is to become more relevant to a certain extent. But I think like every YouTuber, when this came out back in like, 2015, it must have been 2016, was talking about this list. It was crazy because you'd zoom and zoom and zoom and zoom in. How do you actually get to the thing itself, though? Let's see. It's so cool. It's so cool. Final thoughts. Hold on. Visualizing a visual atlas of popular culture. Mind map, is it this? No. No. Connections, insights for visualizing communities and connections in YouTube. Visualizing communities, connections in YouTube. For picture reveal, just pretty visualization is mostly unusable for monitoring. Well, the visualization has to be related to the. I think that the use of a good UI is kind of what you're talking about there, right? A little bit. So the actual importance of it has to be from the standpoint of like how well it's measuring it, right? So that's like the real importance or use of it. Profile picture back. Oh, true. Let's see. Visualization is mostly unusable for monitoring. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know actually where the original thing was, but you get the sort of idea. The usefulness has to be from the accuracy more than anything, I guess. Utility, but then there's second utility with this but the primary utility would probably always have to be the interest of it. So like if you're a game developer, being able to find your game on a map like this would be probably really, if you're a small game dev, would be pretty flattering, right? Or maybe yourself, I guess, in the case of if it was measuring game dev specifically, and their success of what they're sort of doing. I think that would be pretty flattering. In the same way as like obviously a YouTuber would be flattered if they were on a map like this. But I don't know where it is. Like it's years old, right? I think you're gonna make it as a YouTuber. Well, I appreciate you very much. I'm doing my best. We'll see. We'll get there. Yeah. But I think like it's the baseline of an idea, though. To repeat, though, like this isn't exactly what I'm imagining, but it is something that I think when I think about this idea, I'm like, it would be some way of like a way I talked about it before was if you could instead like the UI for it is obviously going to be the most like appealing end. If it has a good UI, then it could be a really fun thing. For example, you could have a deck builder. It was something I talked about before. I think within the Don't Trust AI. Teaching AI to predict if a game will be popular or not. Well, I feel like honestly, predictive models could just use data without needing to think in any kind of special way. I don't know. Why don't trust AI? What's different? Like AI, for the most part, at least so far to my understanding, is limited. It won't be forever, though. Yeah, we're gonna get to a point where it's not as limited, but it's still amazing. It's incredible, actually. AI is incredible. Yeah, but it's weird. Yeah, I guess prediction using like I guess flawed understanding of data intentionally. Like AI is capable of making intentionally flawed mistakes because it's meant to appear human, and people make so many mistakes that it's like, well, you know, you gotta throw in a few, or of catering to someone else's interests even if they're incorrect. Like if there's no data to support what you're saying, but I know it's what you want me to say is right, they'll say you're right. AI is designed to want to do that because it's meant to fulfill some type. A lot of the time, it doesn't have to be though. I guess like it depends on the AI, but like ChatGPT, obviously, for example, if you talk to ChatGPT, it'll reinforce whatever you kind of want it to reinforce because it's supposed to satisfy whatever you're asking. And so if it does better, if it's rewarded more, if you say like, yep, that's what I was looking for more often, if it caters to you, it'll do that. If that's its goal, right? But you could have an AI that's only focuses on trying to predict based on, I guess, past sets of experiences, I guess, or like I don't know. But then it wouldn't, like, what's the point of it being an AI if it wouldn't be more just like a processor of some kind that just looks at data and finds, can it find patterns? Can just a processor find patterns? Maybe not. Maybe that's what the AI has to be there for. Talking specifically about AI that generates art. Yeah. Also, what's the problem with AI generating? Okay, well, I'm not going to say what's the problem with AI generating art. I know this, there's a complex kind of back and forth that goes on there, but stockfish, yeah. Okay. Anyway. So yeah, that's like this is just more of like a general kind of. I think it's a cool UI to show something that could actually have a utility, because the utility is the accuracy of it. Anyway, okay, so, but then the tough thing is, yeah, the utility, the main use of it is almost always going to be for entertainment, more so than for learning. Although you could use it for learning, the learning end of it wouldn't have to be so visually appealing. It could just be that things rise to the top, and that, like, if on a small scale, as a small YouTuber, you were able to see like this game rose by like 25% in the past day, you could see that, okay, that's a big jump, or like a rose by. This game is within this frame, so like you would say a game could rise by 25% but only have like 4 people who play it, so you only rise by 1. But a game could have like 50 people who played it and then rise up to 75 or something like that, like a 50% raise, let's say. And you could say, okay, well this game is suddenly jumping up in viewer in player base or in whatever, but there's still a tiny amount. But if I take a look at it now, this is a good predictor that it's going to continue to rise because it just shot up this much. Tomorrow maybe it shoots up by another, by like 100% or something like that. You never know. Because YouTubers kind of could work that way. Maybe. And we're still talking about small scale there, I guess. Like a smaller YouTuber. For bigger YouTubers, I don't know if there would be much utility because, and this is something I've thought about before, is like if you were to become really, like if I were to become really, really big on YouTube, I guess, the utility, like the main games to play, does it shift into playing like AAA games? Probably not, but into maybe more exclusively like the big, because my ability to know like what's the big next roguelike, the big next whatever, I play a lot of games that are sort of hit or miss potentially, which is okay, but I guess would you do that a lot less if you become a bigger YouTuber? Possibly, right? Or you just play more to make sure you can still make, like, or I don't know, your priorities could shift in one way. Like, I already do it now, right? To a certain extent, I already do that now, so maybe it's not really that much of a shift, but I don't, you don't really see very many, like, massive YouTubers who play much smaller games, but you do see it sometimes. Forzen, for example, played a game that was really teeny tiny and I've never really watched Forzen, but I've heard the name at least, and I remember they played 50 Waves Hero, which is like this obscure little game that nobody watched either. So let's see, it would be 50 Waves Hero, me and Forzen, whoever that is. I got second place on Seed 1 Endless Mode on Driftforce. Nice. I put myself in the top 15 on one of the maps a few days ago. Look at this, 50 Waves Hero. Oh no, it wasn't Forzen, it was Soda Poppin'. Whatever, they're big people that I don't watch. That's all I know, okay? So look at me. 50 Waves Hero 2 years ago, I got 778 views on it, and then this guy, Soda Poppin', got 141 views. Would you look at that, I'm competing with the top of the game, okay? But like, it's interesting, like, why even bother playing the game? It's such a tiny little game. Like, how? YouTube ads? True. Yes, we do indeed have YouTube ads. Build her now. Okay, anyway. Okay, let's see. Close out of this. I don't know. How do you make a program? How would you even start to make a program like that, though? Hello, chat. How would you even start to make a program like that? I have no idea. Let's see. Where am I wanting to go here? Close out of this. I don't know anything about programming. How does it work? How would, like, okay, like, let's say, like, you were sort of saying you could sort by these different things, and that makes sense to me. But how do you even start? How would you even start learning how to Google? True. Yeah. How to make a program to grab, grab information off of the internet from databases, I guess it would be. Steam databases. like, you know? Steam games with web scraping. Because it's got to be like, I don't know, coding or something. Do you play Roblox? Gotcha. Yeah, your name Fish. Your name changes all the time. I never know. I feel like I never know. I never know what your actual whatever name is going to be. It's unpredictable. Better databases to use than Steam. Let's see. It's not. I shouldn't really do this stuff unless you know a programming language. Gotcha. So it's Python is like an option. You could code in Python to do something like this. I have Python, but I only have Python insofar as to extract game files. I don't know anything about this end of things. Somewhat easy so you can start with it. Gotcha. Yeah, it's tough though because I feel like, you know, it's that end of things is cool or interesting, and I can note down ideas on it. But the way that I would start would probably just be to have like a set of devs, and I would take some notes on those devs as people that I'm keeping an eye on, so I don't forget about them. The tough thing then is like that list becomes very long very quickly, and it feels sort of inefficient. Like at the very least, you'd want to have submenus, which feels a bit too abstract. It's usually better to know how it works under the hood, and Python often hides that stuff. Gotcha. Like, it feels like, within Discord, it's possible I could maybe that would be a good area to do the threads thing. So I could do, where's my Discord one? Not open anymore. Discord, we'll just go from here. YouTube, Discord. My God. Wait, that actually is, yeah, right. You're black, and you're fish, and you're toothless, and you're, geez, I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's hard to keep track. Make a bot, probably. Gotcha. General discussion, welcome, introduction, general, share your game, games. Maybe I'll add a, keeping track of devs. Then the trouble is, devs aren't public figures in the way that YouTubers are, which makes it a bit tough. Only be fish, still official play such black. Okay, sure. I'll believe you for the next how many days it takes for you to switch, but I will leave you now. Manage your permits on your server? Absolutely not. Probably not. I don't. I'd be careful with those because people could. You can just delete all my channels. It's not safe. Just monitor games, not devs. Okay. Gosh dang it. Okay. The tough thing there is like the main thing that I want is to monitor devs. Devs don't have that many games anyway. Yeah. Because like the utility of monitoring games is lower because people know games. When true is your server, true. Let's see. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. The point of monitoring devs is like they're not okay. They're public facing up to the extent that like in terms of my size. The problem is the long term is definitely monitoring the work of different devs. If you were to become like a very large channel, could have negative repercussions in that people will be watching what they're doing more closely. That being said, if I did it exclusively for devs who have Discord channels, what's the harm to that? Because they already are creating things in order for people to shout out devs there, do dev monitoring, and just shout out devs there. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. Because like a Discord is already a thing that's very more close knit than like a channel. So if you talk about devs on a YouTube channel, you're bringing a ton of attention to a particular kind of, I guess, person, more private person, even if they have a dev name. Dev, geez, but it would have to be a project, I guess, right? Because that's a place where people can't just interrupt the flow. Know anything about anything? I'll make a tutorial. Huh. What do I want to know about? Okay. I'll use this as a way for me to take note of things I want to know. What, let's see. What are the different ways of storing info on Discord? Storing / organizing. Organizing info on Discord. So far I know of threads and forums. It feels like forums are almost always better. Better. So far. If you have any advice, let me know. Okay, we'll do that. Okay. Do dev monitoring and just shout out devs there. Yeah, it's tough. Let's say for now I'm gonna do dev monitoring. Okay, so let's see, dev monitoring. I'm gonna start with top of my head, probably the group that's been most on my mind in relation to this, that I've had the most kind of back and forth on the topic. Let's see, where are you? Dawning Light. Can I open this in a new tab? Is that possible? Okay. Dawning Light and the person who made Node Farm, Bjorn. Those are the two people that I feel are like immediately in my mind. There might be other people, but those are the main ones that come to mind. So we're gonna say Dawning Light, Calradria. Okay. All right. With forums, if a post gets new message, it gets bumped. So on the top, you'll have something that got new info recently. Okay, there's something else, but I'm having trouble finding it. Yeah, I feel so far that like a cool thing about forums is that it reorganizes, and that you can put a picture to associate with it, which makes it a lot more like UI-wise, I guess. It makes it a lot more visually appealing. Threads seem strange because I don't know if you like if I open a thread and I add something to a thread, do you see that the thread got updated, or is it just a thread that I'm in and you're not in, so you don't see any alert of it changing? Dev has a server with update channels. You can just add it to your server. Calradria. Can I? Okay, how do I? Yeah, it's a good idea. Let's do. Steam. Okay, 310. Can I show it? Let me do it. Can you like put like if you're working off of something, maybe post a picture of whatever. Like if you're looking at a whatever. You can post it in the Discord there. But it's not like doing it within the server means giving perms that allow for deletion of channels, and I'm really not that open to it. At least so far, it seems dangerous. I should copy over everything to a place, but anyway, Discord. Okay, Calradria. Now I should be able to look up Dawning Light, which is Heroes Suck, and then if I go to there, I should be able to pull. If I do official Discord server, open the link in new tab. How do I? Oh, here. What is this? This it? This might be it. So if I do this. Okay. If I do this and someone clicks on this link, they are invited. Yes. Okay, that works. Good. Okay. Let's go to Calradria server. Dawning Light. Dawning Light? Dawn Light? Dawning Light? Dawning Light. Paste. And this is Heroes Suck. Okay. And then we're going to say Bjorn. And then Bjorn's server, which they made node farm, official Discord server, T-Anima Universe, server, T-Anima. The games that I think really, to me, were stand out. Is that maybe a bad way to do it? Okay, grab this. There. So here's my thought. Okay, yeah. What do you guys think about this? I forgot. All good. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Let's see if I go to general. What's this? There's a way to do. Oh, what are webhooks? Yeah, this is the thing that I haven't really seen. Webhooks and I guess integrations. So, can a webhook allow you to do things in Discord that you wouldn't normally be able to do, like a mod, like a Discord mod, or what? I feel like it doesn't make any sense the way the Discord works right now in terms of turning people into mods. Like, why couldn't you make it so they can add channels but not delete them, for example? Or why couldn't you make it so they can, I don't know, like have a certain level of impact but not this full impact? I think that you can, like, if you make them mods in a certain way, they can do like everything, or they can like delete messages. And these are like the two different scales or whatever, isn't it? Something like that. Or they can like ban or block people that are beneath them within the tier system. It's like it just seems a little strange. Allow you to automatically post messages that are posted on another site on your server. That's interesting. That's interesting. So right now, this didn't work. Okay, so maybe I need to... Yeah, IFTTT just doesn't work. I tried it for Discord, or for Twitch as well, and that didn't work either. So I'm going to say IFTTT is just not going to work. So maybe it is best to go with webhooks. Does webhooks allow me to post links from YouTube to my Discord server? Or do I have to use a bot? Discord webhooks. No. Okay. Discord built in webhooks function is an easy way to get automated messages and data updates sent to a channel in your server. Okay. Oh, so it's just like a repeated update. It's not like exactly from another website. Or maybe it is. Wait, can use webhooks. GitHub, CircleCL, Datadog. Can't really use webhooks. Twitch, YouTube. Why not? Oh, because they have different... what are those things called? What are those things called? Oh, what are those things called? They always talk about it in how you doing? How you doing? They always talk about it in the Restream chats. Let's see. My brain says AGI, which I know is incorrect because that's adjusted gross income. That's tax stuff. But they talk about it sometimes here. Community help, I'd imagine it'd be somewhere in here. Bitrate, let's see. Maybe it's just in general. Let's see. Not seeing it. Let's say general announcement, community chat. Let's see. I'm not seeing it right away. Whatever. The thing that's like each, like Twitch and YouTube and whatever, they have their own coding, their own something that you can't access without, or that Restream struggles to access and you have to manually do whatever. There's something like that they always talk about in here, but I forget what the name is. It's like a 3-letter thing, I thought. But right now I don't see it. Database servers, any help? Not sure. Okay, on Twitch. No. Wait, maybe you talked about it in here. Restream, internal ID. Okay. No, I'm not going to see it in here, I think. Oh, well. Okay. Let's see. We got a few more minutes here, but I probably will. Okay, cut off soon there. We're going to go back to my channel. We got okay, hello. Back to Deadeye server. Banana. Might be trying to make this... Banana. Is it like cookie clicker? Cookie clicker kind of concept? Just click it. Concurrent Steam users. Okay. What I'm looking to make, I guess, like if I were to make, again, like I have to mainly focus on YouTube, so my ability to focus on trying to like learn how to code, for example, is probably gonna be pretty limited. But this would be like a, honestly, I feel like they've got to have, maybe they already have a way to do it in here. It'd be like, it would be growth. Instead of measuring just by current performance, it would be measuring by growth. Which I don't think they probably have. New all-time peaks. Maybe you still could do it somehow. So here's the problem, okay? Here's the problem that I think, if there was a better way to do this, would put some small YouTubers on the top, or would have like a slight shift in the status quo a little bit, potentially, or would just go back to the normal regardless. But actually just creating the tool would also be something that would probably put someone in a pretty good position. Is if we go to, let's see, if I go to Retromation's channel, if I go to Retromation's channel, I can see usually all of the new kind of important games that have come out. So, never heard of Iron Hive? It's probably a big new one that's important. I've never heard of Wild Frost. It's probably a big one, new one that's important, or a semi-new one. He's been playing for a little bit. That's important, whatever. Hades 2 obviously is going to be a big one. I can then, if I'm saying like, okay, I've got some of them, maybe not all of them. There's probably some extra wiggle room to try to find something that no one else has played yet. You can probably find that if you go to Alexa's channel. Alexa has played, you know, the Shape Your Refractory game. Has played. Whatever this is, Archeogem. Maybe this thing was something that has some potential. Maybe he's already played it now, and so technically a lot of that potential has been sort of taken up in a way. But you can still feed into that to a small extent because because it's only a few days after he's done it. I could play this game, and then this could do pretty well. Whatever, for example. So a lot of my best practices for finding games, right now I'm backlogged, to be honest, and I'm getting sent games by developers still. I have a couple more that got sent in the last couple days, and so I have to put those in, and you know, we'll take a look at the trailers, we'll see what we think, and it'll become a part of this ever-growing list of things. But if I'm trying to find new games that are coming out that are good, that have potential, I'm going to look through here. Some of them maybe I'm not interested in. Like, maybe I don't like this one because of whatever because I think it's like a match and whatever game. I don't know. Like, or maybe I do. I don't know. But if I don't like one of these games, if I look at one I'm like, it's not really for me, not my sort of thing. I just look at the other ones and I find one that's both performing well and also looks interesting to me, and then I take a look at it, and usually that means it'll do better. So I have a process by which I find things that I want to play that will potentially do well, that have some, kind of energy behind them, whatever. This is a good way to do it, but technically it's requiring me to use their system to my advantage. But if I had their system instead, which part of that is going to be being sent games from my developers, part of it's going to be maybe their own fan base talking about games, but there's going to be a mixture of things. But I don't know what they're using, but it's probably going to be a lot of that stuff, which just requires you to sort of be at the top, right? Just requires you to be someone that's relevant enough that people are communicating with you, that you're in these kind of very close conversations. Like I'm in close conversations right now with... never heard about it, and it's the 6th in the current player list. All I know, just gone. Lockdown worked me. Oh, you're good. You're good. So if I were to go to like I have Indie Gaming Guild where we chat about different things going on right now, thumbnails and testing, whatever. We talk about like different games that have come out recently in indie game, whatever, and that can be helpful as well. I would say probably slightly less helpful most of the time than just looking at bigger channels that are playing these different games and just looking for the ones that most apply to what I think would do well on my channel and that I think I would enjoy and so on. And like that system makes sense. But a better system would be one where you somehow are able to predict or able like the system they have actually. Now again, to go back to the system they have, the system they have is a system that I'm at least starting to try to build, but then I'm also kind of pondering, this greater system. So the system I'm starting to try to build is essentially the system they have, this one. Over time, I have met and talked with different devs, and so I know a few that I think have potentials to make really cool games in the future, or maybe already have to a certain extent, that maybe didn't get quite the attention that they maybe could have gotten, or the ideas themselves. Like, as an example, Calradria here has made Heroes Suck. Heroes Suck has a really good potential in a similar way to Tower Factory. I feel like Heroes Suck and Tower Factory are both like really potentially massive or successful concepts. Tower Factory has done better, but Heroes Suck could have done better. Like either one of them sort of interchangeably could do really well. And the ability to make a game like that has potential to be massive, I think might be a unique trait in creating things. So if somebody is for example, if somebody is like an entrepreneur or like an inventor, actually, if someone's an inventor and they're like, what am I going to do? I'm going to make, I'm going to make a pencil, but the pencil's going to have a little gizmo on the end, and the gizmo on the end is going to have some type of utility. And it's like, okay, pencils are already really freaking good, dude. Like, this isn't really that like awesome of an idea. And then there's someone else who's like, I'm going to make this thing, and it's never been made before in this exact way, or it's been made before but never really, like, this is something that people like. Like, let's say there's, like, something more niche that's, like, there's a tool that people like. Let's say something like weights that you can, like, rack, and then you can change the scale on. But those always kind of suck, but people still use them because the idea is so good. And they make a better way to do that, but it doesn't really take off. If you see someone do something like that, where it's like, well, this is actually really cool, this works really well, it just didn't really get the popularity it should have gotten, but they're inventing something new now. And maybe this one doesn't do quite as well, or like isn't as good of an idea, but you're like, okay, there's potential here. This is how I would look at Bjorn, for example. I felt like T-Anima had this really big potential because it was taking off a lot of the boxes that I liked. It had a different twist on a lot of these things and so on. And then I looked at, honestly, like Sliding Swords was a little less interesting, but Node Farm, again, has all this potential. T-Anima didn't get almost any of the traction that I think it could have gotten. I was one of the few people that played T-Anima. But I noticed as well that the developer was very, very active, very much thinking about this, trying to make it into something. Okay, this is cool. Putting a lot of effort into it, but no one's really paying attention to it too much. And then Node Farm comes out, and Node Farm is this big, successful game. So what are the odds that Heroes Suck either develops into something that does take off and do really well, or that Calradria ends up making a game that is much like Heroes Suck, has like a really cool core concept, but then it's done in such a way that it does take off? Well, the fact that I already have an engagement with Calradria makes it more likely they'll reach out to me and be like, hey, I know you like Heroes Suck, whatever. Do you want to take a look at this new game that I'm making, like whatever? And then I take a look at it and I'm like, holy crap, this is awesome. And I play it and I talk about it. And after I play it and talk about it and the game goes up on Steam, or they reach out to more people, maybe then Retromation, because I'm assuming if I think it looks really, really incredible and then Retromation gets shared it, then maybe they're more likely to play it. And so Retromation plays it. But I'm still playing this game because I think it's awesome, whatever. And then the game starts really taking off. That's like Stacklands, except I would know about it first instead of after, kind of, right? That's like the utility in knowing people. And actually, that's also, that's the utility that Retromation had, because Retromation had been watching Sockpop for such a long time. I'm gonna go. All good. I'm probably ending stream here in a minute anyway. But yeah, Retromation knew Stacklands, knew of Sockpop for a long time, and therefore played Stacklands. And therefore, when other people played Stacklands, Retromation was one of the first to it, and it's one of the biggest videos on his channel. And that's kind of what I'm trying to build here. But then I have this vision for something crazier. Anyway, I'm probably gonna end this one off here. I didn't really have a whole lot of time today, edit today at all. I put in one edit, okay? I put in, let's see, where would it be? Clicky. Is it right here? But that was it. I didn't do a whole lot today. It was only like an hour that I had time for today, admittedly. But I figured I should come in and chat and edit and at least a little bit, you know. Let's see. I'm going to pause this, and then yeah, I did make this one.
I never swear, and I swear a lot in my personal life. It feels weird, like I'm faking myself a little bit.
I'm going to start swearing again in my commentaries and in my videos. I don't know if it's going to be a permanent thing. I don't know if it's going to be something that I do forever. It's kind of hard to really be myself in my recording.
That's one side of everything going on. The other...
And it's not much, but it's on its work, okay? Like we're making a tiny little itsy bitsy bit of progress, and we leave it there. But next time will be hopefully quite a lot more. I knew I had very little time today to work with it. But anyway, I appreciate you coming around, Lapidab. Appreciate Fish coming around. It has been a good set of conversations and kind of just brainstorming this thought process, whatever. But we will have more on Thursday. I'll be doing an editing stream, or a thumbnail stream on Thursday, and then we will go into more Amber's Undergrowth and more, more Tendril and so on upcoming. But all right, thanks for coming around. See you guys next time. Thank you. Later. Bye. Later. See ya.